3, 2, 1, and we are live.
Boom.
Gilbert and Luch coming to you with another episode of Unfiltered Privilege. Yeah. Today's topic, overmedication.
I was going to say our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, but we'll go over medication.
We'll say that for another day.
Just drugs. I think just drugs in general, man. I think it's just drugs in general, man.
Where'd you want to start off on this one?
I do want to start off with the overmedication of our society, right? And I feel like that's that's going to be an ongoing topic, right? Society, just because it's in a really shaky place.
That's what we live in.
I think it's my right to say something. How fucking gnarly is that, right? Anyways, just the overmedication that's happening right now in the United States, man, and the repercussions of it are phenomenal. They've just been, and the simple fact that nobody's putting those two together is mind-blowing to me. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this, because I mean, somebody's got to talk about it, right?
Okay, yeah. So let's start with some of the repercussions of being over-medicated.
Bro, it says it right in itself, right? They're not side effects. These are effects of these drugs. Like they say, like the company will say the side effects might include blah, blah, blah. But these are effects of this drug. Yes, it might help. And right, this is going to offend some people, man. And
I don't think so.
Because, what is it, a disease? Like ADHD, like this disease of ADHD, this...
That'll offend me.
ADD, anxiety is a little much for me, right? And it seems a little too easy to get prescribed anything, right? And this is the very surface. Like, this is what I want to touch on first, is these doctors writing prescriptions for anxiety or ADHD or ADD. Bro, it gets so much deeper because, I mean, look at the opioid epidemic that's happening in the United States.
So,
right?
So you're basically saying doctors writing prescriptions for things that technically don't really exist.
I mean, see, that's always going to be the argument.
Like, there's no, because I mean, for somebody watching this, they're like, what do you mean? Well, if you research like how ADHD first came into effect, I'm sure there's really no standard of it. It's you come in, you ask the kid question, you have trouble sitting still. Like, that's literally all it really is. There's no
kids. Yeah,
there's no hormonal measurement. There's no type of measurement to gauge ADHD. It's just.
But it's a business, bro. And I think
we know that.
I think that's what a lot of people and sometimes parents fail to understand. That they're prescribing, we're putting all of our trust in, and excuse me if you're a doctor, I have friends that are doctors, and hey, excuse me if you are a doctor, but you're just an educated guesser.
Educated guesser.
For the most part, right? Yeah. Like you're an physicians, right? Educated guessers.
Yeah.
It's you got this symptom, you got this feeling. Oh, and especially when it comes to kids, bro, it blows my mind because it's like, oh, you can't sit still? Oh, you can't concentrate? Like, yeah, you're a fucking kid. What do you mean? Your mind is growing. And a classroom environment, right, it isn't set for kids, man. It's a conditioning device, right? Yeah. And of course, we definitely have gone over that before. Like, it's there for a reason. Yeah. And the kids that don't sit still and aren't these little perfect pupils are the ones that have ADD or, right? Like, and mom doesn't know what to do, and instead of spending time with them or having them do sports or any other outlet, right, they go right to these educated guessers. And they're like, what should I do? And the doctor's like, well, this fucking guy just came in and paid me X amount of money to prescribe Ritalin or Adderall. He has ADD. I'll write that. Yeah. And we all watched the documentary on Netflix, man, Take Your Pills, which was it's nothing new that we haven't heard.
Yeah, like
it's nothing new that we haven't heard. Hopefully it opens more eyes, and it's just insane to me how open it is right now. And it's funny because you have people out there really talking down marijuana and really talking down any sort of holistic not holistic, homeopathic, any type of homeopathic, any type of natural remedies. They're always knocking them down and like, oh, really talking shit about them. But yeah, you're sitting here popping 2-3 Xanax a day. You're sitting here popping an Adderall every day just because you can't function. And then you're putting your kids on it because you don't know what to do with your kids.
Yeah, I mean that is. I feel like that is definitely of course it's a real thing, you know, because you see people don't understand when they say the term drug, or when they use the term drug, that's not only exclusive to, you know, substances that are deemed illegal by society or, you know, the governing body. Right. Drugs come in plenty of forms. Like There's caffeine, there's sugar. Those, granted,
what do you mean? These fucking things are drugs, bro.
Yo, well, yeah. But I'm saying more in a, like a, you know what I mean? Like more of a intake. Your body intakes this and has different reactions. Context, like caffeine, sugar, alcohol. Like there's, and if you really look at if you look at the effects of these different drugs and that they have on the human body, there are legal drugs, prescribed drugs that have far more risks, far more danger than a marijuana, and even alcohol. I would say, but alcohol makes you belligerent,
right?
But there's different tiers of it.
But it's profitable, and that's it's profitable. And an educated guesser wrote you a prescription, scribbled you a prescription for it, so it's okay. Mm-hmm. So it's okay. And it's like, well, what are you doing to your kids' bodies? Is what you got to think of it, man. It's got to affect development, brain development, because to be putting these chemicals into your body, bro, at such a young age is mind blowing.
Before 25,
you know, when I was acting out and just, you know, I mean, the doctors told my mom, like, hey, he should be on something, and she's like, he's just a kid. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for that, man. Yeah. Like, you're a kid. I mean, and I'm always gonna bring it back to this, right? Nature. Mm-hmm. Look at baby anything, right? Or even like the teenage anything,
right?
Wolves, anything, just wild out there, right? It's in our nature, bro. Like when you're young, especially adolescents, right? Teenagers
expend energy.
It's hormones just blowing through the roof. Don't know what to do. Don't know how to understand the changes that are going on in their bodies, right? It's like, oh, I don't know what to do. My teen is doing this. Is not paying attention to me. Is not paying attention to school. Of course they can't. It's impossible.
Yeah.
In these times, in these teenage times, in fucking deers, in bucks, they're out there fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like, because their hormones are through the roof.
Yeah.
When us, we're stuck in the classroom. We're in a classroom for 8 hours, and it's like, oh, you have a bad kid because he won't sit still.
Yeah.
So do something about it. And then, you know, the mom or dad's like, we should take him to the doctor.
Sedate him.
Just give him something to just give him something to calm him down. And what I thought was crazy was, you know, it did show in that documentary where it shows like you'll have the perfect kid if you put him on an ADHD medication. You'll have the perfect kid.
Didn't they serve it like the actual school served it with the lunch, or they put it in the water or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you may be watching this and you haven't seen the documentary Take Your Pill, I was actually pretty surprised that is indeed how it was first massively rolled out. I don't know who it was, some pharmaceutical person or somebody affiliated with the drug Ritalin back in 19 something. I think it was maybe the 70s, 60s?
60s, 70s.
Fairly recent. So back then, this person went and they had a meeting with the vice principal from a school. And that was basically the pitch. Oh, you'll have the best pupils. You'll have the best students. They'll be well behaved if you give them this. So the principal or vice principal made a deal with that person, and they started giving this medication, which at the time was I guess something like Ritalin,
right?
You know, and they started giving kids that without their consent, right? They started giving it to them in the lunch. And sure enough, they saw a change. They basically sedated the entire school without their consent. And they're like, oh, my gosh, this works. So we need to make money off of this, I'm sure.
Of course.
And then that's how they pitched it. They started saying, okay, well, they literally had a checklist saying, okay, well, you can't sit still, have trouble focus. You suffer from this. Yeah. And basically everybody.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
Because we're animals when it comes down to it. Like we're animals, and I think that's the thing. It ends up messing up the chemical reactions in your brain, and it does something to you, man. Right? And of course, I'm not a fucking doctor, man. I'm not any sort of fucking intellectual, but if you look at it. All these past shooters, bro, even back down to the Columbine shooters, we're all on some sort of, psychiatric drug.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that not the guns are the problem? The guns are the problem. It's like, no, man, maybe we should look a little deeper. Like, there absolutely is a problem with over-medicating in the United States because it's such a profitable business.
Yeah.
These are multi-billion-dollar businesses.
That's a good point, man, because no matter where you land on the debate, like the people that literally blame everything on the guns, and there's absolutely no acknowledgement of this characteristic of the shooters. Like, what you said is true. Like, every single one of them have been on very similar, like, antidepressants, disassociatives, and it's like
it suppresses.
It's
something.
like okay. I understand. I get your gun argument, but how do you? I don't understand where you're overlooking this one. They all had guns and they all were on this. Like, so how can you look at one without the other?
It suppresses something, man. Maybe it's the feeling of regret or remorse or empathy, anything like that. It suppresses something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the simple fact that nobody's giving that any sort of attention, nobody's putting a spotlight on it and saying like, hey, this is a problem. Instead of thinking of different alternatives, it's like, let's just turn to a pill. And it's because we've become so fucking lazy that it's easier for him to take this pill and sit on the iPad on the couch for 12 hours, and then I can do my thing.
Take this pill and you'll lose weight.
and that's what it is, man. Like, and it's lazy, right? But then again, those same exact people who are drugging themselves and drugging their kids have the audacity to ridicule and criticize marijuana usage, right? And it's like, and it's legalized here in Nevada, and man, I was reading it right now, and almost $30 million in pot sales, right? And it's like, that's going to go towards benefiting the city, right? That's going to go benefiting the state, benefiting the city. And it's like, those same exact people who are talking shit are not looking at all the positives that's happening, right? And that's why,
bro, because the campaign against marijuana, and it's funny that happens to be the case too, because we all know, pretty sure everyone smoked marijuana, you know what I mean? And if you've been an individual who's well versed in marijuana smoking, you know what I mean, you truly know the benefits that it has.
Sinners for sure.
And degenerates. And basically, and I was talking to this to you the other day, and I said it's amazing how, I think I said something, it amazes me how marijuana instantly, I'm not gonna say cures, but gets rid of symptoms on both sides. Like, basically, if you're really uptight and you have anxiety, and you need to calm down, if you take a hit of marijuana, that instantly calms you down. Really, really calms you down. And if you're too calm and you're too dull, you take a hit of marijuana, it opens up your ideas. You become more creative. You have a headache, you have a stomach ache, whenever I was drunk, like in college, the next day, I was throwing up, as soon as I took one pull of marijuana, it's like my body just, I was like, oh, okay, so well, this
one pull of the marijuana. You kind of sounded like a dad, right? He just really sounded like he's doing weed. He's
doing the pot.
And right, we're not gonna get on here, man, and just talk for hours and hours of what what benefits there are. But to me, it's mind blowing that people would rather poison themselves and poison their kids. Then look for alternatives, man. And that in itself is a huge problem. Man. It's just because it's a lack of fucking parenting, man, and caring and really worrying about what's happening to the insides of your kids. I mean, which is great. I mean, that your kids are your kids, so you can do whatever the fuck you want. Pump them full of McDonald's and Ritalin and Adderall all you want, right? And it's funny because in that documentary they talk about how it almost, it enhances your performance, right? It helps so many people, and people
marijuana?
Microdosing it. No, Adderall and Ritalin.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's like being abused,
like Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
but see, I have no issue with that though. I have no issue with these drugs being taken with the intent of something, because, like, look at Silicon Valley, and whether you're a coder or you program software for whatever. there it is being. I don't even want to call that abuse, man, because these are people who aren't taking this. These people aren't taking this, expecting this to put them at base level. It's like they understand that how they are at their base level, but if they need to spend a couple of hours really, really honing in and writing some code, I'm gonna use it's almost like a means to an end.
But you don't think that builds some sort of like codependence? It has to.
Oh no, I think it's different. It's different.
You're doing damage to your body, right?
Yeah, but most things do damage to your body.
Of course.
But it's not like you're not taking it like a vitamin. You're not waking up in the morning saying, "Oh, well, let me take my this." It's
some people absolutely are though.
That's what some people are. But I'm specifically talking about in terms of like Silicon Valley and like the tech community.
Right.
I think their use of like Ritalin and Adderall is absolutely justified. They should be able to do that because it's not something that they literally. They're okay with their base level, you know what I mean? They just understand that like, oh, I want to relax a little bit, let me smoke some weed. Okay, it's not like, oh, in order to be normal, I need to smoke some weed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they can still function, but they're using it as a performance enhancer, not I need this to be normal.
I can dig it, man. And it's of course I'm not passing judgment. I'm not saying right, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Live your life, rock whatever you want to rock with, man. But I look at it more so what's happening to the up and coming generation. I mean, that's always going to be my fucking argument on this podcast, bro. It's just going to be what's happening, what's coming up, and it's because it's scary, man. Right? You got to look at like these kids are our next leaders, and if they're just over medicated, what happens?
Yeah.
Right. And then not only just to kind of switch a little over the opioid epidemic. It's like, what are we doing, man? We're either over medicating our kids so they can pay attention, or giving them opiates so they can be numb, I guess, right? Like,
yeah.
So and they've become so easily accessible, man, that it's fucking mind blowing. All we're doing is just we're creating heroin addicts.
So are opioids like Oxy, Xanax?
No, Xanax is benzodiazepine. Opioids is like lower tabs, Oxys, Roxys, fucking fentanyl. 1932 Quaaludes.
Okay.
But that that's opium, man, and that's what's in fucking heroin, right? And you look around, and it's like that's what's cool now, in school, in high school. And what's funny, bro, is that
popping pills.
I had no idea what the fuck an opiate was until I came out here.
Really?
Bro, I was oblivious to it. I was in high school, and I came out here, and a couple of my friends that I was hanging out with were like, "Man, you ever seen these?" And I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
You just smoke weed in Chicago,
like,
huh?
Yeah, and it's like, and I was like, "What is this?" And they're like, "Well, it's a lower tab, man. It's incredible." And the simple fact of how easy it is to do and to get. Oh. I mean, it's in your mom's medicine cabinet. You go to the doctor, like, "Oh, I got a little," and they're like, "Oh yeah, for sure. We'll write you up an opiate prescription real quick."
They get paid from that.
And it's like what ends up happening is, man, that these kids end up getting hooked, and it's super easy to get hooked, man. And what it's doing is it's deteriorating their lives.
Yeah.
It really takes over, and it's like that's an overprescription as well. You know what I mean? Like that's doctors just overprescribing because they're fucking getting paid too. What? And my question would be, how do you fix that? How is that fixed? How do you adjust?
I think I know. It seems unfathomable though. I mean, it would all come down on the consumer, supply and demand, bro. Like if we have people who are not seeking out these prescriptions, then they're not really in demand. If the consumer stops buying something, they'll go out of business or they're no longer being used. But the issue is, and I know this because I used to work at a pharmacy and I used to have to call in prescriptions to doctors, and I've talked to like patients. A lot of people have too much trust in their doctors. They're afraid of their doctors. There were several instances, bro, where patients would call in and they would be prescribed a certain medication and they'd be telling me, well, I don't want this generic, or I don't want this the name brand medication. It makes me feel this way. The generic is a little better. Yeah. And I'm just in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, why don't you tell your doctor to write dispense at, why don't you tell your doctor to write dispense as written, so you're getting exactly what works for you. Yeah. But they don't want to tell their doctor what they're prescribing it is working. They're afraid that,
well, even worse,
to change
bro,
it up.
And I think I've mentioned it before, is I used to work at a methadone clinic.
Yeah.
And that shit was such a life-altering experience, bro. Yeah. Because I heard all those stories. Yeah. And I heard doctor shopping, and I heard, they go here to this pain management clinic, and they go here, and they go there, and it's like this doctor will write you a script as long as you keep paying. And if he gets pinned up, your script's done. And guess who's going to withdrawal, and guess who's... Right? And man, I've seen the worst cases of it. And that's what happens is they can't afford these pills anymore. They're too expensive. And then it's like, let's just jump onto heroin. And they just start doing heroin, and then it's lost, man. I've seen kids, young kids.
Wait, yeah, but I guess because the original question was how would this change, and it would have to take society, the majority of consumers of the product, the people that are over medicated, to stop feeling like they need to pop a pill every 3 seconds. That's really what it would take. So twofold. Like, people have to stop being afraid of their doctors, and people have to realize that they don't need to take this medication. And then that would...
I mean, you'll have people justifying it though, up and down. I got a backache, I got a knee ache.
That's why it's not going to change, bro. That's why. That's exactly why it's not going to change.
You're absolutely right. I mean, and it's shitty, man. Right? But on the other side, right? I have absolutely seen it help people. I have seen people that are high functioning addicts. They're pretty much high functioning addicts, man, and they're in high roles in society. And it's like, damn, how do you do that? Right? It's like, damn, how do you do that? How do you do that? Like, back in the day, it's like, how do you day drink? Remember, like, now if I day drink, I'm done for the year, bro. I'm if I do it on the weekend, I'm done. Day
drink is the best, bro.
And it's like, you look back, you're like, damn, how did I do that? And you see these people who are, popping 2-3 Xanax, popping 2-3 lower tabs, Vicodin, whatever it is, and it's like, damn, man, you're just functioning out in life. And it's like, hey, and it's like you said, maybe it helps them, or maybe it. Mm-hmm. So we can't knock it either, right? It's such a shitty fucking gray area.
I feel like you can knock it though, man. And maybe this is me coming from a background of like, well, I'm not gonna say background because I'm not a fucking guru, but like, I've delved into the mindfulness techniques and the different meditations you can do that deal with dealing with your energy. You know what I mean?
Exercise.
So you feel wired. What is that? How do you calm that down? How do you regulate your body's need to expend this energy? And a lot of times it's just to expend the energy. A lot of times it's just controlling your thoughts and what you think about, so you'll calm down. And a lot of people have disassociated themselves with like their own thoughts and feelings. Like if they start feeling crazy, like, oh, I have a bunch of thoughts running through my head, I need a pill. You know what I mean? Instead of like, wait a minute, like, how's your breathing? Like, can you control your breathing? Are you realizing, are you not getting too attached to these thoughts and letting them take you in a certain direction? All that helps, bro. All of that helps. But people, the majority of people aren't. They say they are, but they're not woke enough.
Bro, exercise.
Yeah.
Sometimes drinking water. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly, man. What's your diet like?
But it comes around full circle, man, which I think has been a fucking ongoing theme through these podcasts is we become such a lazy society. We've become such a codependent society.
It's just consumption, bro.
That's it.
Consumption.
Bro, that's it.
Consume. And
it's easier that way.
Yeah.
It's easier to swing by Mickey D's and grab you a dinner. It's easier to put your kid on a pill because he just won't stop running around. I've just worked for 8 hours. I'm exhausted. Okay, so you're exhausted from work. So let's give your kid drugs so he can let you chill.
Yeah.
It's lazy, bro. It's lazy as fuck.
It has to be because, bro, there's even a lot of people in my family too. It's where if I'm out with them and like, I got a little bit of headache, the first thing is just like, oh, you want a pill? And I'm like, relax, like I just have a headache, you know what I mean? Like I probably am dehydrated a little bit.
Water,
yeah, I'm probably dehydrated or I didn't eat. I didn't give my body food in the right increments, or maybe I'm not rested enough, so my body's telling me to sit the hell down and close your eyes, let your brain reset. All I need is some water and some sleep. Like, I'm good, you know? And
what's funny, man, is I grew up, and anybody will tell you this, man, like, anytime I'm feeling some type of way, it's like, just take a shower.
Oh, mom, that's a good one.
Growing up, that was our remedy at the house. You got a headache, take a shower.
Bro,
your back hurts, take a shower.
That's a good point, man.
You feeling groggy, take a shower. Bro, I mean, showers, and now, maybe it's brainwashing, right? Programming.
Yeah.
But now, hey, I'm feeling some type of way, I'll take a shower, I'll bounce right back. And it's like, people don't think about that. Like, and it's just like you said, stop, collect your thoughts. Mm-hmm. You're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling anxious. Let's stop and collect our thoughts. Let's get into some real quiet space, even if I gotta put some headphones on and collect our thoughts. Yeah. Right? And that's not what that's not what we're teaching our kids.
It's not profitable, bro.
You see your kid, oh, my kid's feeling this way, and it's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Give him this. And it's like you're giving him a Xanax, a child Xanax. Yeah. Because you don't know how to deal with that anxiety. Mm-hmm. You don't know how to calm the fuck down. You get your fucking bearings, get your feet under you, and explain to your kid what's happening, or explain to yourself what's happening.
Well, they don't know how to articulate that kind of stuff
at all. Bro, it's a panic, bro. It's a panic.
They think, oh, like I'm tripping out, chemical imbalance. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute, you're human. You have a body, like everyone else does.
My
like
kid's restless.
It sends, your body sends signals to you. For different reasons.
It's just my kid's restless. He won't sleep. He just, I can't get him to sleep at night. It's like, well, what is he doing during the day? Just kind of hanging out, watching TV. It's like, well, yeah, no shit. Your kid hasn't used any sort of energy. Yeah. Get the fuck out there. My kid won't eat. It's like, well, has he done anything? No. You know what I mean? And these people are like, oh, I'll just depend on a doctor to tell me what's right and what's wrong. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And again, man, I hate to sound like a fucking broken record, but what did our fucking ancestors do, right? And it's like, and I'm not even talking hundreds of thousands of years. I'm talking 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, right? What did our great-great-grandparents do? There wasn't some sort of, well, I'm sure there was those medicines like, oh, cure-alls, right? But what do they really do?
I'm pretty sure that's fairly recent, bro. 19th century is when that shit just started coming out. Like, oh, you have a problem? Take this.
Yeah, man.
That's recent.
It really is. But how do you fix that?
But to answer your question, man, I'm pretty sure it's scientifically proven that the way our bodies are designed, we're designed to pick up when it's time to go to sleep. And it's basically the way we've quote unquote evolved is that when the sun sets, there's different shades of light, and your eyes pick that up, and it sends signals to your brain. So when it comes time for you to lay down and reset, it's a long process. You don't just. But now we're watching TV like this, have our eyes open, and then turn it off
until
I'm ready to go to sleep. But no, your body winding down is a long process. Like, that's why it's scientifically proven that if you do not watch TV or expose to any bright LED screens after the sun goes down, I think that stimulates the melatonin in your brain and allows you for more peaceful and stable sleep.
But a pill is easier, bro.
What'd you say?
A pill is easier. A Unisom.
Yeah.
What are those heavy ass sleep pills? Fucking that can almost kill you and make people fucking sleepwalk and do the craziest things.
It's not Ambien, is it?
Ambien. Yep. Pop an Ambien, bro. It's easy. Oh, I sleep like a king when I pop an Ambien. It's like, really?
And that's one of the things that frustrates me too, bro. It's specifically with Ambien, and people who say that, oh, I have insomnia. There's no such thing. There's literally no such thing. What it really is people who claim to have insomnia, they don't know how to let their thoughts go. And the way I put it like this, everybody has. If you want to know what insomnia is like, imagine every night being like tomorrow's the first day of school when you were a kid.
Yep, and I've been there, bro. That's Sundays, nigga. That's and I think I was telling you before, like, yo, I've never slept good on a Sunday unless the next day I'm off or on some shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I understand that completely.
Yeah, and the reason for that is you as a human, you're not attuned with what your thoughts are and how they make you feel and how to not get dragged down the rabbit hole. And that your insomnia can be solved with a simple disciplinary routine of meditation. That's literally all it will. You can literally teach yourself how to go to sleep. I can go to sleep right now if I want to. I understand, and I've paid attention to the process and how my body feels enough to follow that path. But I've been there. I've been there to where it's like, oh man, I'm so excited about tomorrow. What's gonna happen? Because that's how we're wired. What am I gonna do next? What do I have to worry about? Have I covered this? Have I covered that? And if you're that takes energy, bro. It takes a lot of energy to think like that,
bro. But a lot of people, it's not. Sorry to interrupt, but a lot of people, it's not excitement energy. For a lot of people, it's worried energy, right? And I'm not saying right, like my Sundays aren't worried. I'm just dreading having to wake up early. It's Monday, back to that 9 to 5, like it, just dreading that. But a lot of people, bro, it's more so worry, and it's worried because my kid's not sitting still. Oh, my kid's not top of the class. I'm not. Am I a good parent? Am I a good employee? It's overthinking. It's worrying. So a lot of people, it's not excitement. So I think that's why they numb. They Ambien up, or instead of all you gotta do is drink a sleepy time tea. That shit works every time. That's my point though, man. Is they externalize how they achieve that state, right? And it's like, oh, I like the way this feels. I don't have to think about anything. And have you ever taken Ambien before?
I think so.
Shit is
I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah, you go to you knock out.
No dream, no nothing.
Dream. Yeah, and that's another thing I was gonna say. There's no dream, or there's no anything. There's no dream so with that.
Crazy. It's like a blackout. Whoops. It's like a blackout. Excuse me.
Nah, you're good.
It's like a blackout, man. So that in itself can't be good for our bodies.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. We know it's not good for your kidneys, and your liver through your blood, like through its being filtered out constantly. But that's one of my biggest struggles with weed, man, because I love to smoke me some weed.
You're gonna go to hell, bro.
But there's nothing, to me, in my view, in my opinion, there's nothing like a natural sleep and a natural dream.
Are we getting into it right now? This last little bit, we're gonna get into it.
We can, yeah.
Because I'm gonna be the Jeff Sessions of this. Anybody who smokes weed is a devil and is a bad person. Bro, I'm saying it here. If you smoke weed, you're a bad person.
If you're over a certain age, bro, and you make that,
if you look like a fucking troll, you should stay the fuck out of the limelight. If you were born in the 1910s, shut the fuck up. Bro, get the fuck every time. Bro, there's very little people that I hate. I have a heart. My heart is open, full of love for the people around me.
Yeah.
And that little bit of that little bottom is hate for just a very few people, bro.
Jeff Sessions is one of those.
And Jeff Troll Sessions is one of those, bro.
Bro, because you know how delusional he is.
Is
man.
That not undereducated? I mean, what? How are you at this part? How are you in this place in society? And you're wrong.
And
you're not educated.
Wrong, and the thing is, the thing that's annoying about it is like you've of course once you reach a certain age, you dig your heels in. But like he's so dug in and unmovable on that stance, given all the researched health benefits and psychological benefits that
drug
weed has to
offenses
offer.
should be death penalty.
I don't know,
bro.
Man. I don't know.
Some of this shit is mind-boggling.
Yeah,
mind-boggling, and it's sad to see.
He can't be serious,
bro. It's insane.
He can't be. Whenever I see him say some crazy shit like that, like weed smokers death penalty, it's like, are you trolling right now? Like, are you just fucking?
Bro,
with
I
us?
swear, I'm mind blown, and maybe that was their intention. But
yeah.
Every time I watch, I'm like, oh, this can't be real. I'm looking around like, this can't be real. I am definitely more right leaning than I am left. There's got to be some people on the right that are like, bro, this dude is wrong.
Oh,
but nobody's gonna say anything. Like it's mind blowing the benefits, and I mean, there's video proof. There's people, bro. It's insane to me that he's so close-minded, and I'm always at a loss for words when I get into this argument with close-minded people, right?
It's ridiculous, man.
It's fucking mind-boggling. People who do drugs are bad people. They can't be, you know what I mean? Like some of the best people I know, right? It's fucking mind-blowing.
And I think it's so mind-boggling because it's so incorrect via experience. Like if because it's amazing, bro. Like being high, being in your thoughts, and looking at the world in a different way and feeling that. It's like, whoa, this. I can kind of see what this is. I can see what this is really for. You know what I mean? And you can abuse everything.
Of course,
don't get me wrong. You can abuse everything, but strictly off of the experience and the proper use of it, it's like, wow, I see. It's almost like, this is another conversation, but it's almost like, okay, if there were a God, I see why he put this tool here for me to use. You know what I mean? Like, I see what this is for.
Of course.
And Dare and all that shit growing up, it's like, where are you guys getting this information from?
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, like it's mind-blowing how you can come to these conclusions based off of the experience that I'm having right now.
I was raised with the belief that if you even look at marijuana, you're gonna be with that homeless guy over there. You're gonna be a drug addict. It's a gateway drug. It's like, yeah, man, it's a gateway drug to a weak-minded individual, and I understand that everybody is put into this one category.
Yeah.
I understand that, man, but in this day and age, in the fucking 21st century, you're like, bro, what the hell? What's going on? 20th century?
20th century. I
was thinking about the movies.
Yeah.
And at the 20th and 20th, you know what I'm saying? Like it's mind-boggling when the proof is right in front of you.
It's so apparent, man, with the amount of plugs there are.
But the same person who is over-medicating their kids and over-medicating themselves is like, you're a bad person. You're a bad person.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying before, man. That's just the way they've normalized what's good and what's bad. Yeah, like they never stop and think for themselves. What's the difference between A and B? No, I'm gonna listen to what they say. The difference between A is B. Oh, the government outlaws this. This must be bad. Yep. But if you deconstruct all of that, all this is man-made constructs.
Did you ever watch Reefer Madness?
No, I never watched Reefer Madness.
Oh man, you gotta watch that shit. It is hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious.
It's trolling.
Way that they, bro, the way I'm sorry, the way that they show what weed does it's insane, bro. Bro, it's fucking mind-boggling.
This is kind of like those. It's kind of like those police things where it's like, oh, this is what driving. If you put these sleep shades on, this is what seeing through the vision of marijuana is like. And I'm like, wrong. Anybody who's ever smoked weed will tell you that. So where are you getting this propaganda from? I'm not gonna call it knowledge.
No, yeah,
but it's just what's causing you to spew this type of propaganda? Like,
but to find the answer for that, you gotta dig deep, big bro. And it goes all the way to, I think it was William Randolph Hearst.
Hemp
and cotton.
Yeah.
It comes down to that. Mexicans. Oh no! They're smoking weed after harvesting in the fields. Oh no, we don't trust Mexicans. Nope.
Yeah.
Let's outlaw this. Oh, hemp is 100 billion times better for everything, bro. Did you see that Henry Ford shit? The bumper. Oh my god, hemp, everything, clothes. It's such.
Well, backtrack a little bit though. Didn't weed first get outlawed for something with hemp in the newspaper or some shit like that?
For hemp in the newspaper?
Yeah, somebody wrote about it and literally lied. Like, it's proven that they've lied.
Yeah. This was the dude.
Who was it? It wasn't Henry Ford. That's the car guy. William Randolph Hearst.
Yeah.
Is that him? Yeah.
That's why I said that. Like that was him. I think he. Yeah. William Randolph Hearst. That was him. He was in cotton, and bro, all that shit is not profitable for the 1%.
So they demonized it.
Yes,
yeah, okay, yeah.
It's not profitable for the 1% because you and I can grow it. Anywhere. Anybody can grow it. And the benefits of it are mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Bro, in
you go to sleep, smoke some weed.
Anything. I mean, and not even weed with THC, bro. Even CBD.
The oils?
The miracle in CBD is fucking mind-blowing, bro. In epilepsy, the lives that it's saving for epileptic kids and adults, even dogs, is mind-blowing. Bro, the benefits that it does for pain, bro, my mom has a shattered knee, and they were trying to give her medication, and I was like, yo, I'll get you some CBD. got her some CBD. Bro, she said she can move her knee, she can bend her knee. And this was a person who was very against marijuana. It's like, whoa. And I'm like, dude, it's non-psychoactive. It's CBD. There's no THC in it. And look at the benefits that it has. Even just the oil itself, if you take it, bro, for ulcers, there's so many benefits. In just CBD, right? Not even the psychoactive form. In just CBD. And then even rawer than that, in hemp. Everything, paper, clothes, cars, could be made of hemp. Building materials, everything could be made out of hemp. It's more durable. It's longer lasting, right? And it's avoided because it's not beneficial to the top. Yeah. Because anybody can do it, and that's the problem.
It seems so obvious that's the case. Which blows my mind because it's as obvious.
In 2018.
So that does lead me to believe that it's true that like you said, it's not profitable to make this legal. That's why it took so long. There's still some states where it's illegal in, you know. So that's why it's taking so long. And
it's those same people, right? Jeff Sessions probably kicked it with William Randolph Hearst in the 1937, right? It's these closed-minded people that don't see the benefits and don't see the incredible things that it does. Shit for humanity, bro. I've always been an advocate. If everybody smoked weed, there'd be no conflict.
That's true.
There'd be no conflict.
That's definitely
true.
There'd
be no conflict. It's mind blowing to me, and I hate to sound like a broken record. I feel like I've said mind blowing and mind boggling 50,000 times, but it really is that, man. And I'm always at a loss for words when I'm arguing with somebody or trying to, you know, and this, just like, you know, the Second Amendment, I have no other side on. I have no other side on. It's not like, I can't be on the other side of this because it's wrong. It's wrong. It's like arguing that pedophilia is okay. It's never going to be okay. It's never going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like the same way that's wrong. It's like saying every person who smokes marijuana is a bad person, or saying that should be that any drug offense should be penalized with death is wrong. There's no benefits. That's wrong. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's all on what we're receiving, and unfortunately, the louder voices are always being heard. With take a Xanax instead of you smoking a joint or whatever. You know what I mean?
Bro, I wonder what the world would be like if you really took Sessions and Trump and like you made them do mushrooms and smoke weed.
Changed their life, man.
Like I
Smoke
really
DMT.
not one time to where they like flipped out and demonized it more, but really, okay, Trump and Sessions, we're gonna take 2 months of consistently blowing, consistently, you know, taking doses of shrooms and just self-reflect. I wonder how much their views would actually change on.
Dramatically. But I've always been a strong advocate, and I've said it with our police podcast that, I mean, if you're in roles of power, you should know what shit is like. The same way that they get tasered, you should know what being high is like.
The same way they get
not
tasered.
Heroin, right? Like, but you should have some sort of experience. And you look at it like you apply for the police, for the police academy, and it's like, you smoked weed? Oh, sorry, you're never gonna be a cop.
Never.
And it's like, well, it's good to have that experience, right? Like,
so these are the cats that roll up on somebody high. He's high. He's a threat. And it's like.
Even worse, they're holding a nugget and they're like, we got about an ounce here. Yeah. And like, street value 7,000, and you're like, what?
It's like,
wait,
bro,
what? It's fucking mind blowing, bro. I hate to sound like a broken record, but it really is that. Yeah. And it's sad, man. And it's gonna come down to you and how you fucking, how you raise your kids, how you parent, and how you educate them. Because if you're a fear mongering and saying that this is gonna kill you, this is gonna ruin your life, this is gonna mess you up, that's what your kids are gonna end up thinking, bro. And then that's how they get into even heavier drugs.
It's false. They grow up with a false sense of reality.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And there's a bunch of drugs that we haven't touched on, man. And there's so many out there, right? And it's a bit scary because there's new forms and and God knows what it's doing. But when it comes down to the fundamentals, like when it comes down to the basics, man, of what's a drug and what's not, there's some things that should be reclassified.
Oh, 100%, bro.
And there's some people who should get educated. And I think that's just my message again, is like, just get educated.
A real education.
Go buy a gun, go smoke one, go, you know what I mean? Like, instead of criticizing and being a fucking arrogant asshole, go get some experience under your belt. And then if you want to talk shit afterwards, talk some shit.
Yeah. But then at least when you're talking your shit, you'll actually have... organic reasons as to why.
Man, 100%, man. So I mean, just to wrap it up, it's scary what's happening, and I think if you're out there listening, man, and you're thinking about medicating your kids, I think you should look for different alternatives.
Yeah.
Or I think you should just in your own life look for different alternatives, man, because
I think you should not do it.
There's so much more you can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go take a fucking run, right? Go. I don't know, man. Whatever floats your fucking boat, right? Plant a tree, whatever it is, like. Go find that, because in back in the day, man, there was no pill that's gonna solve every single problem, and there never will be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we gotta get out of that mentality of thinking that there's gonna be a pill, there's gonna be something that's gonna fix everything, that's gonna numb our thoughts.
Maybe one day,
right, on some limitless shit, right? Like
some nanotechnology,
but not yet, right? So try to stay grounded and try to stay a fucking human being. Try not to fucking numb yourself and run away from all the bullshit, right? And granted, man, everybody has their thing, right? Everybody has their vice and everybody does their thing. You know what I mean? And we're not going to be here and say, oh, this is right and this is wrong, and because we're not the fucking judges of anything, and who the fuck are we?
I feel like we are saying what's right and what's wrong. But we can. I have no issue with saying what we think is right and wrong. We're not trying to force our opinion, that. Right? Yeah, we're not trying to force that.
But I mean, if you're thinking about, if you yourself are medicating like that, try to find a different alternative, man. It doesn't hurt to try, you know what I mean? Like, and some real shit. And I'm not here to be some motivational speaker, but I don't know how that turned into that.
If you're in pain, embrace the pain a little bit.
Yeah.
Embracing a little bit of pain is good. Like, this shit hurts, but you know what? This is a trip.
And it makes you grateful for when you don't have it.
Yeah, man. 100%.
How many times you've been sick and you're like, I don't know what it feels like to be normal. And then when you feel normal, you're like, oh, this is what it's like.
You're wishing, like, oh, man, if I just let me breathe normally, let my nose be unclogged. I forgot what it was like to be able to breathe through my nose. That's the worst one.
It really is, man.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's going to keep happening. So, I mean, rock how you rock, man. Get in where you fit in.
That's all I got, man. All right.
That's it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode, the drug over medicated episode of Unfiltered Privilege. Like, subscribe, drop the comment, give us some feedback or not. Doesn't matter.
Boom.
So, as usual, everybody enjoy their weekend.